Hey there, folks, and welcome to a quick predictions edition of Causeway Cleanup. I'm going to look at some of what I think may happen this year with the Mets and what probably won't happen, but give this a go anyway and see how we fare. Also, get involved in the comments. Let me know what you think we're going to do this year. But first of all, I put out a poll on Monday or Tuesday anyway. Can't remember which day, but basically asking what our post-season thoughts are from the fan base and how think we're going to do. We're going to win the division, wild card, etc. And a very scary result happened, and something that's as very scary as Mets fans and we should be afraid of is the fact that absolutely no one thought we would miss out. Well, sorry, 1% thought we'd miss out. I'm guessing that's a Yankee fan on the postseason, and everybody else thought 47% thought we'd win the division, 52% thought we'd get a wild card, and only 1% thought we'd miss out. And that is scary because every previous year that I can remember going into with high expectations of what we're going to do this year has ended up in some kind of utter collapse, utter failure, just generally Mets being Mets kind of stuff. But hey, this is a whole new era of Mets baseball. Juan Soto, we get such a financial might behind this team, such a winning ethic starting to rise from every aspect of the organisation, and probably for the first time in my lifetime as a Mets fan, certainly since the 90s, you feel that or the late 90s, you feel that their sustained success is attainable. And that started last year, I think, when the team got to the postseason from absolutely nowhere and probably had no business getting to the postseason, but made it. And for this team to win a World Series, especially the way the postseason set up now, it's so difficult to win a World Series. You got to get in first of all, and you got to get experience in the postseason. The team got valuable loads of experience last year, and I think they can use that to springboard this year and keep getting to the postseason every year. And that's the only thing we can do. Is that more often than not, we need to get there, and then just roll the dice when we get there and see what happens and see how things pan out, because you never know. So let's get to my predictions first of all for the divisions across baseball this year. I think I can find my way here on my computer. Anyway, here we go. Yep, so we'll start in the National League, obviously. In the East, I've picked Philadelphia to win. I still think they are the class of the division. I think they'll get deeper pitching. Their lineups, they've got a good lineup. I think as an all-round ball club, I think they're pretty well set up for the 162. So I'm picking Philadelphia to win the East. In the Central, I got Milwaukee again. I just don't think St. Louis and Chicago have come on enough this offseason to be able to topple them. But again, we will see. I think it could be an interesting race there. It could be, again, the National League Central, maybe the little brothers of the National League this year again, where maybe only one team is going to prevail, and it could be a tight race in the end, because I don't think Milwaukee is quite where they were last year. But we'll see as the season goes on. But I think I'm picking Milwaukee again until somebody proves that they can, until Chicago and St. Louis can prove that they can topple them. And of course, in the West, you can't not pick the Dodgers. It's, I mean, with that lineup, with that pitching, short of our collapse with injuries and who knows what else. And of course, in baseball, especially the way starting pitching is these days, you never know when a rotation can get decimated. And but even the Dodgers, if they do get guys going down and big guys going down, as we've seen in previous years, they've got enough to come up and get through and win the division anyway. Because I just don't see that the Padres have enough yet. The Giants, Arizona might be able to push them for some of the way, but short of the Dodgers just blowing everything up themselves, there's no way they don't win that division and probably win 100 plus again. So we'll see what happens there. I've got on the wild card in the National League. The Mets as the number one wild card, obviously. I think we will push hard for the division. I think we'll come up short in the end. I think our rotation, which is the weak part of our line, of our whole squad at the moment, could let us down in that. But again, when it comes to rotations, the days of aces and these guys that can pitch 100 plus innings every 5 days are gone. So I mean, you get teams with injuries and stuff, and starting pitching isn't what it was. I mean, you're just looking for guys to do 5-6 innings these days, and you hand over to the bullpen. And our bullpen is more of a strength this year than a weakness than it was last year. I can see more depth there and be able to hold games better. but our lineup is what's going to drive us. We will live and die by how well we hit this year. I mean, if they score 6 runs, we're going to score 7. If they score 8, we're going to score 9. That's how we're going to live and die with this Mets club this year. It's going to be a murderer's row kind of offence, hopefully, and we'll see where it goes. And I still think we get the first wild card, and hopefully then a home. Yeah, it would be a home series in the wild card series, which would be great to see at Citi Field again. Second wild card in the National League, I got the Diamondbacks coming through. I still think they got a good squad from last year. They narrowly missed out last year, courtesy of the Mets. And I think, and Milwaukee obviously as well, but I think that Arizona have enough to push on and get there this year. So I see them getting in, and Atlanta as well. The Braves, I don't know what to think about them this year. I just have this gut feeling that they ain't going to be as good. I've got no real basis for that apart from gut. And in previous years, when I've said that about the Braves, they've wiped us out. So I mean, again, I'm almost kicking myself for even thinking that or saying that. But I just got a feeling that the Braves this year might have a dip year this year. I think there's guys, particularly in their pitching, that won't really particularly. I won't claim to be an expert on what their pitching is like this year beyond Spencer Strider. But I just do not see the Braves pushing as well as for the division as well. But I still see them getting in for the third wild card. Shipping over to the American League, I got Boston in the East. That's a surprise some people will find. I just, again, it's a gut thing. I'm not putting that in any particular thought or strategy here. I just have a feeling about the Red Sox this year. The Yankees definitely aren't as good. Baltimore, I don't think are as good. The Rays could surprise a few people this year. They're going to be playing, obviously, outdoors this year all year long, and that might affect them later in the season, being out of that there climate-controlled Tropicana field. So it used to say before the Cubs got lights at Wrigley Field, the August games absolutely killed their pennant races, because by that time all them day games absolutely sucked their energy out. Now, of course, there will be night games, obviously, at George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, but again, it's a new thing for them, but they could surprise a few people this year. So watch out for the Rays as a dark horse in the East. In the Central, I can't go beyond Cleveland again. Kansas City are better, Detroit's got better, but I still think Cleveland's got what it takes to get all the way and win the Central again. In the West, I got the Seattle Mariners. They get a hell of a squad, I think, from top to bottom. Again, I'm no expert in all their guys and stuff, it's just, I just think they are a good all-round ball club. They're solid in their pitching, they're solid in their hand. They will win the West. You will see probably Texas push them a bit. Houston will push them slightly. I think Houston will be a drop-off here this year. I think they're starting to get to that point where they're going to need to reload again. So we'll see what happens there. Angels gone again, as usual. In the wild card in the American League, we've got the Yankees taking the first, Baltimore the second. So again, for East heavy in the wild card in the American League as in the National League. And I got the Royals coming through for a third wild card in the American League. But again, I think there could be quite a logjam in the middle of the American League through the All-Star break. And whatever teams can maybe make moves or make changes. And again, injuries will play a key part in this, especially in that mid-level, that mid-tier for the second and third wild cards. Who's going to prevail, but that's who I've got so far. So that's my predictions for this coming season as far as wins and losses goes. I think we're going to get between 90 and 95 wins. I think the division and the league in general might beat up on each other apart from probably LA. But it's going to be an interesting season. I think it's going to be a very exciting season. I just hope we don't end up with that disappointment. So for that reason, I'm just going to take this one day at a time and see how we go. A bit like Mendoza last year, the manager. I mean, he was absolutely, when you think about it, people were sort of screaming at their TVs because there seemed to be so much inaction when we were started that horrible start. But the guy proved to be right. He was calm, he was collected, he was just doing his job, keeping the team's heads level, and then we went in that magnificent run. So if more of that from Carlos Mendoza this year, I think we're going to have a good year. I believe the postseason is at the end of it. So let's go Mets, and let me know in the comments. And if you like this, subscribe. If you didn't, whatever. But enjoy your season this year. Enjoy your Mets baseball this year, and let's go Mets. And let's hope we're still celebrating come October time. So hey, let's go Mets.